Hi, this is Arthur from the Minute Review Show. If you have a minute, I have an opinion. Today I'm taking you to Chinatown, and I'll show you possibly the best clay pot rice in New York City. We're going to a restaurant called E Noodle Cafe, located in Manhattan's Chinatown. E Noodle Cafe has 3 other locations in New York City, 1 in Brooklyn and 2 in Queens. E Noodle Cafe is very much the home of Cantonese comfort food, serving roast meats, congee, wonton soups, noodles, and Hong Kong curries. I walk into the restaurant on a weekday night and enter a small, comfortable dining room. Get ready. You'll love what I have in store for you. Hi, this is Arthur from the Minute Review Show, and today I'm in Chinatown, Manhattan's Chinatown, and I'm at a restaurant called E Noodle Cafe. Now, this is on the street called Catherine Street. It's near Confucius Plaza, and it's very easy to find. It's in a very busy part of Chinatown. It's also near Chatham Square. The funny thing that I found is that on the menu, it has a different name, but on Google it says E Noodle Cafe. I wanted to try this place because they have some of the things that I really love. And what is that thing? I'm sure you love it too. It's bo dai fan. Today I'm going to order something a little different. It's a bo dai fan with the preserved meats, but also with the salted fish and pork. I'm wondering what that combination would taste like. Primarily, this place serves that type of dish, and I really want to try it because that's one of my favorite Cantonese comfort foods. Take a quick look at this menu. The menu says Fok Noodles, so the restaurant's name is really E Noodle Cafe, and here's the hours. It's closed on Thursdays, and on the front page we get right to it. We have the famous Hong Kong clay pot rice, and you can get it in these 7 different styles, and for $3 more you can add a different protein. As we move to the next page, we have appetizers. These appetizers are basically things like spring rolls, chicken wings. Then we have dumplings and dim sum, which are all pretty cheap, all in the $10 and under range. Then we have curry rice dishes. There's 6 of them here. We have some vegetarian dishes here. Next page, we have a make your own noodle bowl. So here you have the base. You have different bases. Here's a shrimp and pork wonton. You have cuttlefish balls. You have all types of bases. You have some mixed noodles, which is a non-soup based noodle. And you have different toppings. You can add additional toppings, once again, for $3. And finally, we have, on the last page, we have congee. And once again, these are super affordable, and all under $9. And then you have the chopped meats over rice. They have a full array of that stuff in their front window. And here you have their drinks. And they're all Hong Kong style. And some desserts, mainly some soup style desserts. You know, with Cantonese foods, there are so many different kinds of comfort foods. I'm wondering, what are your favorite kinds of comfort foods? Mine happen to be bo dai fan, clay pot rice, because it reminds me of home. What do you like to eat that you consider comfort foods? Just write them down in the comments below. This dish that I ordered is the steamed rice roll with the hoisin sauce and the sesame sauce. Now, this is a nice big dish, very, very generous. This dish, I would say, is about 8 inches wide from here to here. There's plenty of sauce here. Let's flip these around, and you can see these are fairly thick rice rolls. I would say about a half an inch in diameter. Not bad. And these are nice and warm. I could just feel the warmth emanating from the rice rolls. We're gonna give this a try. Okay, now I'm going to try the steamed rice roll. Now, the steamed rice roll, as I had said earlier, comes in a very generous portion. Take a look at this. This is about 4 inches long, and we're gonna dip this into the sauce and give this a try. Delicious. Nice and hot. It really heated this up, and it needs to be heated up, because if it weren't, it would just be like a store-bought rice roll. This doesn't taste like a store-bought rice roll. has a restaurant quality to it. The hoisin sauce is nice and sweet. Sesame sauce, nice and earthy. Delicious. If you take a look at the rice roll, it's very hard to find the distinct rolled up sheets of noodle. It actually seems like one entire piece of hard noodle. Do you know Korean tteokbokki? It's almost like tteokbokki, like a Chinese tteokbokki. But it's very nice. If you bite it hard enough, it does fall apart. These rice rolls are very tightly wound. They're delicious, nice and hot. I would definitely order these again. These rice rolls are big enough portions for maybe 3 people. If it's eaten as an appetizer, they're quite good. If you take a look at the sesame sauce here, what's interesting is that this sesame sauce is nice and thin. It's not super thick. There are some sesame sauces on the market that are very thick, but this is nice and thin, and it does a great job coating the rice roll. Okay, now it's time to take a look at our first dish, and this is Hong Kong style roast meats. We have the roast pig, and then we have the tasio, or the roast pork, barbecued roast pork. When you take a look at this piece of roast pork, I specifically asked for the fatty cuts, and they definitely delivered. Take a look at this. There's at least 2 layers of fat here. Let's go a little deeper in here. And once again, we have the same situation. Nice fatty cuts. You can see that there's a nice glistening sweet sauce on this barbecue pork. And then now we have the roast pig. Let's take a look at what we get. I asked for fatty cuts too, and yeah, there's a nice thick layer here, about a 1/4 inch of fat here. Nice crispy skin. Here we go again. This one we have some fat here. This isn't as super fat as I would like it, but this is actually pretty good. I see that it's nice and cooked. It's a little hard, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. We're gonna give this a try, and hopefully the flavor makes up for the denseness. The next dish I'm going to try is the 2 roast meats over rice. Now, I ordered the roast pig with the crispy skin, and I also ordered the tasio, which is the roast pork, barbecue roast pork. Let's try the barbecue roast pork. I specifically asked for the fatty cuts, and that one delivered. In fact, I would say about 40% of that piece is fat. Really delicious. The great thing about this is that it has that sweetness to it. It's baked into the meat. The marination definitely penetrates, but it doesn't do it too much. It doesn't make the roast pork candy-like. It's just enough to give it nice, good flavor. Now I'm going to eat another piece with a little more meat. There's one. So yes, that confirms that the meat is perfectly marinated, not too overly marinated. I love this. It's so juicy. It's one of the best roast porks I've had this year. Nice, shiny, and glistening. Take a look at that. Shiny coating is excellent. The next thing that I'm going to try is the roast pig. The roast pig doesn't have as much fat as I had expected. Okay, even though I asked for more fat. So let's see how this is. It might be good. Very good. This is excellent. Even though there isn't a ton of fat here, it has that strong 5-spice flavor that's penetrated into the meat. It's on the top portion and on the bottom portion. It's a little heavier on the salted side, but it's not bad. The flavor is definitely penetrated into the meat. In fact, the flavor penetrated this meat much more than it did the tasio, the roast pork. This is perfect because if you eat it with rice, you definitely want some of that saltiness in that meat. Excellent. I really love this. It's really good. And one final thing that I forgot to mention is that they do offer this Shanghai bok choy. They give you 2 Shanghai bok choys, plenty to eat. I can taste that when they blanched it, they put a little oil into the water. Nice and tasty. I like that. Very nice. Next is what we've been waiting for, the aromatic warm clay pot rice.
bursting with savory meats, fragrant rice, and a crispy bottom.
First thing I'm going to do is put on the sweet soy sauce, which is standard for this dish. Look at that. Quite nice. You can't put too much of that stuff on. What I'm going to do is to mix this and take a look at that. It's piping hot, really hot. And I'm going to take care and not pick up or pull up the rice all the way on the bottom because I want a nice crispy bottom to form. So I'm just mixing the soy sauce in. That's it, not digging in. Okay, now let's take a look at the bo dai fan, or the clay pot rice. Now there are lots of pieces of protein in here. I ordered double protein. We have the preserved meats here, and then we have the salted fish and pork pancake here. We have the Chinese sausage here, the regular lapsang, and then we have the wow, this is awesome. They have the preserved duck. Over here they have the liver sausage with the wine, and then here's a giant piece of pork belly, preserved pork belly. So wow, they have 4 different kinds of preserved meats here. This is really awesome. Next we have this big piece of pork. I'm thinking that there's probably some salted fish integrated into this patty. I won't know until I try it. We're gonna eat it very soon. Okay, it's time to try the clay pot rice, my favorite, and it's still nice and hot. Now, we're gonna try the pork patty first. Now this is actually a pretty big piece. Look how big this is. This is like 4 inches by 3 inches. Let's try the meat, see the quality. Immediately, I'm hit by the salted fish flavor. It should be nice and strong, and it is. Another thing that I taste is that the pork patty is super bouncy, super supple. That's the way it should be. Well, for restaurant quality. Sometimes if you make this at home, you won't put that softening agent into the pork patty, but this one they did, and is nice and good restaurant quality meat. I just tried the rice. I can tell you that the rice, when you make this rice, sometimes some places ladle some oil into the rice as it cooks. I can taste that oil. The oil, I believe it tastes like pork fat, but then again, it could be the fat from the preserved meats. But in any case, it's super aromatic, super savory. The rice grains are very nicely oiled and slippery. Delicious. Let's move on to the preserved porks. We're gonna try the pork belly first. Let's try this. Delicious. Very generous. That was a thick cut slice. That preserved pork is excellent. It's not too hard. Sometimes when it's not cooked well enough, it becomes rock hard, but this is not rock hard. It's nice and chewable. It's the perfect texture. Next, we'll try the Chinese sausage, or the lapsang. It's good. They cut it into super thin slices, like paper thin, which is good. Taste that lapsang. Not overly oily. It's not the super oily type of lapsang. It's just, there is fat, but not a crazy amount of fat. Next, we're gonna try the preserved duck. Now, this is what the preserved duck looks like. This piece is usually pretty hard, but let's see if this is nice and soft. Wow. Once again, the texture is perfect. It's not too hard, not too soft, just right. See, the danger of these preserved meats is that sometimes the preserved meats are kind of hard, but they cooked it right. They prepared it right. It's really nice. I really like it. Finally, the last component of this dish that I'm going to try is the liver sausage. Usually there's some wine in here. Let's try this. That's interesting. The liver sausage actually tastes a little bit like the regular Chinese sausage. There's not much difference in flavor. Usually there's a markedly different flavor. It's usually more gritty, but this has the exact same texture as the regular Chinese sausage. Very interesting. As I'm eating more of this clay pot rice, this place is the best I've had this year. I have to say that everything is done correctly. I mean, every element from the preserved meats cooked perfectly, perfect texture, not too hard, not too soft. The texture of the pork is perfect. It's nice and squishy and bouncy, and with that salty fish flavor that we're all looking for. This is the complete dish, and this is easily the best I've had this year. And I don't know, if you come here, this needs to be the main dish that you order here. I think that they're known for this dish here. They put it in the front page of their menu, and they do it for a reason. Now I'm going to show you a big treat. I'm going to do the big review of the crispy rice. Look at that. Look at that crispy rice on the bottom. That is quite amazing. I'm going to dig up even more of that. Look at that crispy rice. This is what you're here for. This is the thing that sets this dish apart from anything else. Look at that. Look at that beautiful crispy rice. This is why I love this dish so much. Okay, let's try the crispy rice. This is one big chunk of it. This is like eating a Chinese bagel. Crisp on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside. Absolutely delicious. Okay, the meal is over, and what can I say about this meal? If you want to come here and try the best clay pot rice, you really need to come here. What I know about this place is that many years ago, it was named something different. I'm not sure if the owners are the same, but I remember coming here before and had the same good experience with the clay pot rice. I've tried it today and things haven't changed. It's still excellent. I still think it's the best in Chinatown until proven otherwise. There were so many different things on that menu that I could have tried. It's only a 4-page menu, but it goes through all the favorite one-plate dishes. You could have congee, you could have plate rices, you can have roast meats, you can have clay pot rices, and other things like curry dishes. I think this is a good place to come if you want a quick meal done the right way. It's classic Cantonese comfort food, and it's open probably, I believe, if I look at the menu, yeah, it's open to 8:45 pretty much every night except for Thursdays. Come here if you want to get a quick, fresh, hot Cantonese meal. And it's not that crowded because not many people know about this place. If you're traveling to New York and you're coming to Chinatown for some cheap, good eats, please follow my channel. I have a list of Cantonese restaurants actually throughout New York City, but a lot of them are in Chinatown. So check out my channel, subscribe, and look at those restaurants, because I'm sure there's a restaurant in my channel that you might like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. The final bill before tip is $37.01.